If some shit falls down with Timbaland, that nigga got lawyers.
Yes.
He got relationships in the music industry to pick up the phone and try to call shit and fix it. Y'all don't know nobody like that. Busy Works Beat. Come to the chat for a second, family. Let me holler at you real quick, family. Family.
But this is the way
Producers. But let's talk about the moment that shook the room. Your response to Timbaland and AI music. You proposed something radical. You said mirroring the behavior back at a Timbaland. What point were you really making when you told us, allegedly, that we should steal some music from Timbaland since you want to steal
I did not tell y'all to steal from Timbaland. Curtis
allegedly.
likes to add a little lemon pepper on top of the goddamn chicken.
When you say allegedly, everything is okay.
I said,
okay, she didn't say that. She didn't say that. She said, but she said a lot.
I said, what would it be like, okay, if the same behavior was done to you? And that is my motto for 2026. So all y'all watching, just know, if it's okay for everybody else, it's okay for you first. So that's my motto for 2026. I'm sticking on it. I don't care who it is. If I see you doing it and you tell me it's okay for everybody, just know I'm going to check you and I'm going to ask you, fine, well, let's do it to you first. And let's do it like this and let's see if it's the same way.
Isn't that what I just said?
So, no, you ain't. Anyway, for me, it kind of pissed me off because here's the thing with Suno that people don't really recognize, okay? They all focus on, oh, well, look what the robot can do. Look at the wow. Look at the wow factor. All of these great things. And listen, I'm not fighting against the technology. Technology is incredible when it allows us to do incredible things. The only thing that I don't like with Suno, one, is that niggas is not getting paid. And if people is not getting paid and people is not getting credit, you know what I'm saying? Now we got a fucking problem. Because how is everybody else supposed to eat off of the hard work that they're doing? I don't like that. They give us legal risk with this output. The output that they tell us that we own, this is permission-based ownership, meaning that you stole from me, you stole my work. You're telling me, pay me to sound like you, and I'm going to give you a license. Here's a license for you to sound like you that you pay me for. And by the way, the license that I give you, I don't got nothing to do with you being able to actually copyright it. You can't copyright shit, but here's the output. It's yours while I profit legally and safely and give you legal risk that you pay for. So this is why I don't fuck with the robot.
Yeah.
Because everybody doesn't understand the fullness of what it does. You know what I mean? I have not. And then two, they say that you can't put copyrighted music in the robot. It's a hot lie. I checked it out the other day. What you can do on YouTube, what I saw, I can't say this, but if somebody records let's say you on your phone, you record somebody performing the song live, that's not a registered. The robot will still take it. So y'all didn't even work out all the goddamn kinks. So it's bootleg. It's a bootleg that y'all sitting here making look professional, but y'all did not go through the right methods and the right means to get things done. And I understand from a business standpoint, right? It would be a lot more expensive. Okay, but baby, that's the cost of doing business. You want to be the boss, you got to pay the motherfucking cost. With Timbaland using Suno, y'all, we all have the same access to use as Timbaland, but we all don't have the same opportunity. If some shit falls down with Timbaland, that nigga got lawyers.
Yes.
He got relationships in the music industry to pick up the phone and try to call shit and fix it. Y'all don't know nobody like that. Kehlani said, I'm sending out subpoenas all 2026. You fuck around and do a folded record and Kehlani come back and sue you niggas. And I hope she do. K Michelle talk about she getting ready to sue y'all. I hope she do.
Yeah.
Because I feel like y'all need to start seeing that people are not playing about their intellectual property. And you know why they could sue it? Because they got a copyright. And you know what you can't get when you use Suno? A copyright.
Why do you feel like so many people misunderstand what artists and producers are actually angry about?
It's due to two reasons why I think it is.
Cook.
One, I think it's due to ignorance. People don't understand everything that I'm telling you. They don't know how to connect the dots. As Black people, a lot of the times we don't understand the business. We don't understand the legal risk. We don't understand all of these things. Always says, "Ooh, it looks good. Ooh, it's glittery. It's shiny," but you don't understand what's behind it. Right. So that's one thing. Another thing that I think is the reason why at Timbaland, I'm gonna have to call you out, baby. I'm sorry. Him, people abusing their leverage or their status of legend, right, to promote something without disclosing all of the risk associated because you got your check. And just because they paid you, you know what I'm saying? I can go ahead and I can say anything to my people with no conviction. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Not when you benefited from the system, not when you benefited from the support of these same people. You owe them, I feel, some sort of moral something to be able to say, this is the full story.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like he's doing that. And I feel like he's abused who he is. I'm going to say it. There's too many surviving Timbaland stories that I don't heard.
Come on.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that I don't talk to at least 3 different producers who don't know each other. Every time I mention something, there's a producer in the comments that got to say something about an experience that they may have had with you from your camp.
Right.
You know, I feel like just the abuse of the negligence of what you have built and who you influence, and people are listening to voices like you. You know what I'm saying? So now you're influencing this person. This person thinks this. Now they're influencing this person. It's just negligence, and it is being misinformed, and it is us not having a culture to educate our people on ownership and the business. And that is something that I am very big about. That's the number one thing I'm so big about. I wish I had my keys. They over there. I'll show you my keys because I have ownership on my keys. Because keys open up the door. Keys are representative of doors being open. I have ownership there that I'm going to own it unapologetically. We don't have that type of thought process, you know, in our community. So, you know, I want to raise more awareness, especially as a Black woman, and let us know there's power in our ownership. We have to own our masters. We have to own our publishing. We have to own our intellectual property. These white people, these white women, baby, they do not let go of their pub, honey. They will fight you to the end for their publishing because they know the value of protecting their publishing. They know the value of protecting their intellectual property. We're the only people. And it's so funny to me. They come to our community. They come to the people that look like us to sell this shit. They come to our creative finesse. They come to our creative gifts and our creative abilities. Where is David Guetta? David Guetta is a white producer. He has over 30 years in the game like Timbaland. He started out as a DJ in the 80s. Where is that? Was he not fit enough to be considered as a creative director for Suno? Where is Phineas? Phineas has won Record of the Year, Producer of the Year, Songwriter of the Year, Album of the Year. Billie Eilish's sister, one of the biggest names in pop culture today. Was he not considered a fit to be a creative director? Why do you come to the people that look like us? There's a reason why. It's like we're easy targets. We're easy targets and we're easy to be robbed.
Why do you think that is?
Because people don't mind selling out for a check. That's why. Go to the Puppet. Anybody who does music, y'all know who the Puppet is on YouTube. Y'all done seen him in his tutorials. You go to his channel and type in Suno and you tell me how many motherfucking Suno videos you see. He makes a living off of doing tutorials on software. Him and his wife. Why do you think that he hasn't done it?
There are so many producers out here. I'm going to call out one of them. Busyworks Beats is one of these producers out here who has fully embraced AI to the point of using and abusing some vulnerable people who look up to these individuals, like a Timbaland, for instance. They look up to these individuals. And this is my words. I'm not putting this on you. I'm not trying to get you in a clip. This is all on me.
Oh, no, I'm going to back you up with Busyworks Beats in a minute. So
say less. Say less. Say less. Say less.
I'm going to back you up because he don't know me yet. But he's going to get to know me right now.
Let me just say this. Let me just say this. Wrong interview to watch today. So here's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You have amassed an audience, and I think it's a lot of similarities between Busyworks Beats and a Timbaland, in that you amassed an audience that was built upon you building trust, and trust with people who are vulnerable because they're beginners. Trust with people who are looking at your internet celebrity or even your industry celebrity in a Timbaland. They're using that and they're looking at that and saying, I can trust this person because he's trusted by people that I look up to, not knowing what the actual layers and the reality of those relationships may be behind the scenes. These people might even can't stand these motherfuckers. But because of the respect and because of how small the actual industry can be, you don't want to be the person that step out. Look at the situation with the Diddy documentaries and how many people knew about all of this crazy ass shit going on who show up now and they're like, yeah, I knew about this, but I couldn't say anything because XYZ. I'm looking at these folks now in this position where it's even more predatory to me to go after the beginners because they don't know their left from their right. So when I see a Busy Works Beats doing all of these Suno videos and telling people, hey, this is the way to go about it without calling out the negativities, it's the same issue I have with a Timbaland. If it's so good, you should be able to be objective about the things that are not so good.
Yep. Tell the whole truth.
Tell the whole
Tell the whole truth. You know, I grew up in the church, so I just had to just a biblical reference real quick.
Sure.
But that's exactly what the devil did with Eve in the garden. He said, if you eat this apple, your eyes is gonna be open and you're gonna see. And that was part truth. Her eyes were open and she did see. And the correlation, Suno, you use this, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be all this tech. And guess what? That's all true. But what the devil didn't tell her was that if you eat this apple, you're gonna open up a motherfucking can of worms so goddamn big. Jesus himself got to come down here and get on this motherfucking cross and come save your ass. Literally. So the whole truth, and this is why people crucify me, because I was told, and my grandmother taught me that you take the smallest piece out of the truth and omit anything, the whole thing is a lie. Okay, you got to tell people everything.
Yeah.
People have to know the full truth before they go ahead and they move forward. And you over here selling all of this other end, and you want to hide everything else in the terms and conditions, and you want to hide and make everything else when they call it out seem like it's not so bad, like it can't hurt somebody else. No, tell these people the truth and tell them that you robbed them and tell them that you're not paying them.
Hello. And don't be quiet when it's time to be the loudest about their negativity, when it's time to be the loudest about the things that they have done, that people have called out like you and I in these videos, and it's indisputable evidence. It's so bad that you got lawyers talking for them instead of them talking anymore because they know, oh shit, if I say something again, I may be burying the momentum of this business. If you are so on the team, if you're an ambassador, nigga, act like a leader. And that's why, like, I'm so big on doing my best, and I'm not saying that you need me at all, but I'm saying I'm doing my best to platform as many of the inspiring and, to me, future voices of music production, because that's the space I was in exclusively. And when I was there, I was so disappointed in these niggas. I looked around like, you motherfuckers is not men. Y'all are looking for the next check, and you willing to sell out. And you know what I've noticed about the game plan? They always isolate the person that they think is the most vulnerable. When they isolate them, they cut them a check. When they cut them a check, they sell us out, and they come back and they say, I've had a change of heart. And I think that we've been thinking about this all wrong. Then the content follows. And all of a sudden you're looking at them as if they're a shell of their fucking selves. Same way I look at Timbaland. I'm like, dog, I came up looking up to what you did in the production space.
Everybody feels like that about that man.
And I look at you and I'm like, I don't even know who this, I don't know this person at all. Maybe
separate from AI, Timbaland, even with the whole situation with Bryson Tiller. Bryson Tiller never spoke up about it because he's so humble. And I love that man because you can see his spirit. He's humble. I'm going to speak up. I don't give a damn how many years later it was. For you to sit here and tell that man, quit your job, and then turn around and fucking ghost him. And then when they ask you why you did it, he's going to sit here and say, well, I was so focused on Tink and what Tink had going on. What does that have to do with you telling somebody to quit their livelihood off of the strength of trusting and believing who you are for the last 30 years and what you've done, and you validating them and giving them a goddamn opportunity? Like, what does one have to do with the other?
You know what's so scary about that? I interviewed someone on my channel named Zarah Scully. And she was somebody who was a part of his beat club situation, right? Where she would basically send in music, and he did the whole like song and dance, like, oh my God, you are amazing. I ain't heard a voice like this amazing since, Aaliyah, da, 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 da. And he made the promise to her just last year or the year before, if I'm not mistaken, that she'd be able to quit her job based upon them collaborating with each other. It's the same, like at some point, At some point, I would hope that, and it's usually men, which is so embarrassing. It's usually my peers who do the most defending because they're so blinded by celebrity. They're so blinded by the vision and the pedestal they put these people on that they forget they're fucking human and capable of doing the shittiest things that human beings do. But when they show it to you one time, you sit back, you say, I don't know. When they show it to you multiple times in different spaces, that is a pattern of behavior.
You gotta believe people for who they are.
Come on.
You gotta believe it for who they are.
That's all I'm getting
and
at.
My issue with him is you benefited off of this system for the last 30 years. You're damn near 55 years old. Enough is enough. You're too damn old for that shit. I don't care what nobody got to say. You too motherfucking old. If it was your daughter and you sent her to somebody's university or somebody's institution and something happened where she wasn't properly serviced or she was promised something and she didn't receive and shit went wrong, you wouldn't want to hear anything from a university talking about, well, we were too busy focusing on this group of students that we couldn't focus on your daughter. That does not have nothing to do with nothing. You understand what I'm saying? It couldn't have been my brother, couldn't have been my man, couldn't have been my husband.
Come on.
Because the way that I would have walked him down. You know, you cannot have a benefit from the level of status that you have and be so negligent like that when it comes to people's livelihoods and when it comes to people's hopes and dreams. You was once that young man who had a hope and a dream too. You cannot be out here acting like that. It's unacceptable. And that's why I personally don't really I don't care about you being no legend. I don't care about no none of that. I'm going to call you out every you, your hairline, everybody I don't give a fuck. Everybody getting called out. Real quick, I'm sorry, because I just wanted to call you because you mentioned Busy Works Beats. I had to say something.
No, good. You always got time for that one. Go ahead.
Busy Works Beats. Come to the chat for a second, family. Let me holler at you real quick, family. Let's go back to the Openbeat situation real quick. I'm not tearing you down. I got to call you out. The dude who ran Openbeat was your motherfucking friend. A lot of people don't understand that. The whole producer community is in uproar. You knew the nigga who did this shit. You invited him into your group on Discord. You let him come into your Discord and sell his app. Wow. And then you get mad. And so this is what happened. He gets mad because he wants the man to disclose that he used APIs and he didn't do it. And he feels like the man betrayed him because you came up in my Discord with my audience. You violated me and you come up in my shit. First of all, you opened up the door for his ass to do it. That's number one. Take accountability for that. Number two, you knew him. What do you mean? You should have did your own due diligence to find out anything in the first place. And not only that, I watched him on a video and Busy Works Beats has said, listen, I don't care about the steak having pesticides. Does the steak taste good? That's what he said. I don't care. And that's his analogy to AI. I don't care about AI having all that other shit. You know, fuck all that. It doesn't work for me. Doesn't feel right. Yeah. That's how you felt. So if that's how you felt, why the fuck do you care about old boy using unethical APIs? And you want to sit here and feel like you God and want to get up on the motherfucking camera and tell somebody has to get on camera and someone has to apologize. And you want to sit here and hold everybody accountable, baby. You first. Everybody is to be held accountable, but sweetheart, you knew who the culprit was before you did it, and you sitting here acting like Openbeat. No, call your friend out. That's your friend. You knew him. You let him in your shit. You let him do what he's supposed to do. You are just as guilty as the person who did it. So stop sitting here playing these goddamn games. I want to sit here and be Captain Save-A-Ho, nigga. Listen, I appreciate you holding your peers accountable. Yes, everybody needs to be held accountable. But again, like I said in the earlier this interview, you first. You can't sit here and want to point the finger at everybody else, but you can't sit here and acknowledge it for your own goddamn self. And to be honest with you, I saw Busy Works Beats talk about, Timbaland slid in my DMs. And, we had a conversation. Everything was good. Okay, so because you spoke to him, he sued that piece of you. You know how many celebrities I done had DMs with, sweetheart? It doesn't matter. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And at the end of the day, either you're going to stand for something or you're going to fall for anything. And if you can't have a backbone to stand for what's right, then get the fuck out of my face because you pussy. And that's the end of it.
Somebody's going to have to tell the truth and I'm going to tell it.
Thank you. All I'm going to say is thank you. I don't got to put that in no packaging. Thank you for saying that. And this to me is how you call accountability to so-called leadership. You know what's so ironic? There's a video on my channel right now where it's been very story that he and I have had issues, right? And mostly issues with his weird way of looking at the world and business. And He wants to be passive aggressive, cutthroat businessman. He had a live stream that he came in and he just sat there and he said all the quiet parts out loud because of how angry he was. He said, I said, why are you harassing me and my businesses? Like Slap Experts and things that I had. That was a sound design company. He's like, because this is what you do in business and war. And I'm like, how much of the market share do you need in order to be satisfied? Carlin, how much of the market do you need to be happy? 100%. 100% for you to be happy? Then you're unhappy. You'll never have it. He said 100%. Which doesn't exist in any scenario where somebody has market. This is someone that I looked at, and when I saw the Openbeat AI, and this is all speculation, but one thing that came to mind? Everybody who did promotion for Openbeat AI, Av McCree, DJ Payne, Larry O, and Larry O's that's my dog. Like I just talked to DJ Payne today too. All the people that are involved are all competition of his. Then it clicked. I want 100% of the market share. To me, there's a performative aspect of this of let me shun my friend that you said you invited into the Discord. There's a performative aspect of this because I'll tell you that I thought was really interesting. When the first video came out from Weaver Beats, who set this whole thing on fire, shout out to my guy Weaver Beats. One of the first videos that popped up was an AI video generated response that was supposed to be from OpenAI, but it was on Busyworks Beats Twitter account, like minutes.
Because he's connected, because he knew who it was. But here's the thing. Let me say something. Busyworks Beats. Busyworks Beats, even when you just said with 100% market share, I respect him because he is very smart. That man, to me, is low-key, light-level genius on certain things. Here's the thing. This is why it's important to have women around, because just as quick and just as sharp as he is and as intellectual as he is, I can go there probably even further ahead of him, really, at the end of the day. So it doesn't really even matter to me. I'm just as sharp as him, if not sharper, actually sharper. So for me, I'm going to say this to say he's talking in terms of business. Him and Timbaland are aligned in terms of they like money.
Yeah.
they like the check. They like the opportunity, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then again, if you're going to call somebody out off of the tip of them not being ethical and saying that they're ethical, right? Then I'm going to challenge your ethics. Okay. Yeah. So that's where you kind of put your foot in your own mouth. Okay. You can't call someone out for ethics and you are not demonstrating ethics. Okay. Or you can't sit here and want to demonize someone for someone and turn around and defend the same behavior. You're doing the exact same thing as the individual. And this is where I personally couldn't get with that. Now, the way you beat somebody like that, who wants 100% market share, give them a run for their money. Okay. Well, let's see how much market share you get within the next year then. And you put boots on the ground. And that's how that goes. So, it is what it is. Yeah. It's fair game in this bitch. Yeah. Let's see. Because he fuck around with me, I might take your market share. Hi. Welcome to YouTube. I'm Chiyanti.
And she might get some support. She might get some support from places like solid, people that ain't so solid, but they solid. And she might get some support where it's like, damn, how that happen? I wonder. This is not about trying to drag any individual. If anything, I want to have a space that promotes people who are doing amazing things and want to lift people up in the process. But there's not a lot of lifting when you're destroying people in the process and you're destroying vulnerable people who don't have the resources. You talked about it with the lawyers. You don't have the resources. If shit goes left, Timbaland got some people he can call and he can make that shit go right. Right? The same way they clear samples. You don't have that. The thing is, when you're following their advice, yes, there's a part of you that is thinking logically that says, this is someone who's achieved something that I have not achieved, so I probably should heed and take a listen to it. The reality of it is, you're not them. You're not in them circumstances. And even somebody who's a peer of theirs would have completely different results if they don't have the same type of people in their network. So you got to really think of this and think of why would they come out of nowhere and then start caring about your independence? And they've never been independent their entire career.
DIY.
Tear in your eye.